Tunc Holofernes dixit aequo animo esto, et noli pavere in corde tuo. Quoniam, ego numquam nocui viro qui voluit servire, Nabuchodonosor regi. Okay, the beginning is pretty simple, right? Then Holofernes said to her, notice ae is in the dative case, to her. And then we've got this interesting phrase here, aequo animo esto. Aequo animo, that usually goes together, and it means with calm mind. Aequo is calm, animo is mind. And esto there, that is one of those nifty future imperatives, and we know that because of the to. So then Holofernes said to her, be with calm mind. And what else does he tell her to do? Oh, do you guys recognize noli? That's the don't. And that goes with an infinitive. Don't do something. Don't be afraid in your heart. I don't know where else he would be afraid, but he doesn't want her to be afraid in her heart. And why should she not be afraid in her heart? Don't be afraid in your heart, quoniam, because I, Holofernes, numquam nocui, never, and nocui, it means to harm. I never harmed, and nocui is special because it goes with a dative. You harm a dative noun. I never harmed a man. And then he gives us this relative clause. What kind of man did I never harm? A man who wanted to serve Nabuchodonosor, the king. Populus autem tuus, si non contempsisset me, non levassem lanceam meam super eam. Moreover, autem, your people, right? Your group of people. See, now see is important because it means if, and more importantly, see plus two subjunctives is a contrary to fact. So he's saying if this thing had happened, some other thing would have happened, a contrary to fact statement. If your people had not rejected me, I would not have lifted lanceam meam, my spear, over your people, over them. So let's do that again. Moreover, your people, if they had not rejected me, I would not have lifted my lance over them. So if they had just surrendered like everybody else, we wouldn't be in this situation. He's totally gaslighting them. Nunc autem dic mihi, qua ex causa recessisti ab illis, et placuit tibi ut venires ad nos. Let's see what goes on here. Now, however, tell me. Notice we've got an infinitive there. It's an imperative. This imperative dic looks different than this imperative noli here. And that's because dic is one of those irregular ones. After dic, duc, facen, ver, need an e, and it's not there. So normally you'd see a dice, but it's an irregular infinitive. Now, however, tell me this, say it to me. And what does he want to know? Oh, we've got a chunk here. Qua ex causa. From what reason, or why? Notice qua goes with causa. For what reason? Recessisti, isti, did you leave ab illis, from those people? And placuit is singular. For what reason was it pleasing to you to do what? That you come to us. So we'll put it all together. Now, however, tell me, for what reason did you leave from them? And was it pleasing to you? For what reason was it pleasing to you that you come to us? Et dixit illi Judith, summe verba ancilli tuae, quoniam si secutus furus verba ancilli tuae, perfectam rem faciet dominus tecum. And somebody said to him or her, we're not sure, but context should help us. Oh, Judith. So Holofernes just got done talking to Judith, so now we know it's, and she said to him. Who said it? Judith, just in case you forgot. What did she say? Well, watch out for the word summe. It's not sum es est, sumus est sunt. It's not that verb, but rather it's the imperative from sumo sumere, which means to take up. So she's saying, and Judith said to him, take up the words of your slave girl. Whereby? Of your slave girl. Take up the words of your slave girl. And kilaitoi is genitive. Take up the words of your slave girl, since, oh, we got another if here. If, now this is not if plus subjunctive verbs. This is if plus future perfect and future tense verbs. If you do this thing in the future, another thing will happen after you do that first one. So, since if you follow the words of your slave girl, if you will have followed the words of your slave girl, God will make this thing completed or done with you. So Judith is saying, if you do what I say, God's going to help you out. So we know that secutus viris is future perfect because the eri, and we know that faciet is future tense because it's an e. Normally it's just F-A-C-I-T, but since it's future, F-A-C-I-E-T. In the fourth conjugation, they add the E, or the third IO conjugation, they add the E in front of the T there. So that's how we know that that is future perfect. So just a quick recap here. Up here we have if plus two subjunctive verbs. So that's a contrary to fact. And then down here, we have if plus a future perfect future tense, and that's an if you build it, they will come construction. Moving on to the next sentence. Vivit anum Nabuchodonosor rex terrae, et vivit virtus eius, quae est in te ad corruptionem omnium animarum errantium. Quoniam non solum homines serviunt illi per te, sed et bestiae agri obtemperant illi. Okay, oh, this one's actually pretty simple. Let's see. For he is alive. Who is alive? Nabuchodonosor, the king of the land. Nabuchodonosor, the king of the land, is alive. Et vivit virtus eius, and alive also. And alive is his, remember virtus, not virtue, is his courage. And then we have this relative clause describing the courage. What about his courage? His courage, which is in you, and then ad plus an accusative. If you're not going somewhere, it usually means purpose, which is in you for the capture of all the minds, and then here's a participle, of the wandering folks. So that means the clueless people who don't believe in Nabuchodonosor. So we'll try that again. And his virtue lives, his virtue, which is in you, for the capturing of all the minds of the wandering people. Quoniam, this is the third time we've seen this, since non solum, not only men serve him through you, but even the beasts of the lands obey him. Nuntiatur anum, anime tui industria universis gentibus, et indicatum est, omni saeculo quoniam tu solus bonus et potens es in omni regno eius, et disciplina tua omnibus provinciis predicator. So, nuntiatur, that is passive. So, it is announced. We don't know what it is, but we'll get there. For it is announced. Okay, anime tui, it is not nominative, so that's not the thing that was announced. Your soul was not announced. Oh, look, industria, there's your subject. For the industriousness of your spirit is announced. To whom is it announced? To all the tribes. And indicatum est, it is indicated, or it is shown. To whom is it shown? Omni saeculo, to every age, to every generation. That, it is shown to every generation that you alone are good. Notice we haven't got to an S, but it's understood. You alone good. You alone are good and powerful in all of his kingdom, his being Nabuchodonosor's, and your discipline, subject, to all the provinces, dative, is proclaimed. So let's do that one more time. For the industriousness of your spirit is announced to all the tribes, and it is indicated to every age that you alone are good and powerful in all of his kingdom, and your discipline to all the provinces is proclaimed. Okay, we'll keep going. Nec hoc latet, quod locutus est aequor, nec illud ignorator, quod ei usuris e venire. Oh, another one of these verbs where the subject is just understood. No, oh, actually, it's stated, nor does this thing, hoc, hide. What thing? What thing is she talking about? Nor does this thing hide. And here she explains it. What aequor said. So, nor does the statement that aequor made way back in like chapter 6 or something, nor is that hidden. So this whole phrase is talking about hoc. Nor does this thing hide, the thing that aequor said. Do you remember what he said? Like, he said to Holofernes, hey, if the Jewish people are good with God, he's going to protect them, and if not, you can win. Nor does this thing hide what aequor said, and nor is this thing unknown. Another thing, nor is this thing ignored or unknown, that, notice usuris is the second person, you ordered to him, i.e. aequor, to come here. So she's referring to the backstory on aequor. Nor does this thing hide, the thing which aequor said, and nor is that thing unknown, the thing that you ordered to him to come. Because remember, Holofernes kicked aequor out and said, if you think the Jewish people are that cool, you hang out with them until I come get them. Notice locutus est is cool because it's from locor. It's one of those funky deponent verbs. That means it looks passive and translates active. Okay, sentence 8. Filii Israel Deum nostrum sic peccatis offenderent, ut mandaurat per prophetas suos ad pahilum quod tradat eum pro peccatis suis. Okay. The sons of Israel, something about their God, thus with sins. Oh, here it is. The sons of Israel offended their God with sins, thus in such a way, that's what we're doing with seek, in such a way that, because then that presents probably like a result clause. They offended God so much with their sins that mandaweret, he handed or told through his prophets to his people. He told his people that he would hand them, the people, because of their sins. So this is more of that, if you irritate God, he will hand you over to the crazy bad guys. The sons of Israel offended their God with sins in such a way that he proclaimed through his prophets to the people that he would hand eum, the people, or betray the people, because or on behalf of their sins.